Now, here's some things you can do if you're struggling in any way with your mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, it happens to us all. These 3 things can help you both personally and professionally. Number 1, lean into your attributes over your skills.
Ooh.
Attributes are what you are born with. Grit, determination, tenacity, adaptability. Skills are what you learn. I learned how to do this. I learned how to get into a stance, use my hands, punch guys in the face, learn the skill. But the coaches couldn't teach me how to have the fire inside to kick booty when necessary. You may not be able to see on that far right side, that's Barry Sanders, one of my favorite football players. Without a doubt, phenomenal skill. But I'll tell you what, had the most attributes, had the most willpower in his time. The Detroit Lions sucked for years and years. And now they're the best in the NFL and the NFC. I'm so happy for them. Barry Sanders gave his all on a really bad football team. Really bad. And when he decided to leave the game, you know what? I respect that. Because you know what he said? The willpower to be the best was gone. Jim Brown did that. I mean, it happens. You know, you're better off saying, you know what? I don't have it anymore in here. It's time to move on. Right? And again, ladies and gentlemen, remember this saying. When your attributes are stronger than your skills can shine at their brightest. Think about that. When your attributes are stronger than your skills can shine at their brightest. My construction company, I had no willpower to stay in that. None. I got lucky, made a bunch of money, but of course, it caught up with me. Bam, I lose it all. In my speaking business, I started at September 2013. I didn't make a dime for 2.5 years. Not one dime, but my attributes, my willpower to do it far exceeded the skills that I had in it.
Great example.
I went all of the way. All right?
Great example.
Remember this. Skills are what you learn or are taught. Attributes like grit, tenacity, adaptability are critical for long-term success. That's number 1. Number 2, move your horizons. What breaks down people's mindsets faster than anything else? Challenges, right? Ladies and gentlemen, when people see a challenge, like they think it's this big dark cloud, right? Here's the thing. The cloud is there. Absolutely it is. But how do you defeat a cloud, right? You chop at it time at a time, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, break down large challenges into small action steps. Keep stress down and keep momentum going. Perfect example. About a month ago, somebody that was part of the NFL alumni media decided to move all the podcasts under that umbrella to a new platform. Didn't tell anybody. Didn't tell me, none of us. I found out about it when we were trying to publish one of our episodes and it wasn't working. So I found out, oh, Marques, we're no longer on this platform. We moved to this platform. Were you going to tell me? Like, I can't publish my episodes, right? And so I said, okay, what do I do? That's a challenge, right? Our podcast is one of the biggest things we have with our brand to separate us. I said, okay, just calm down. What are we going to do? Step 1, call Ben, my producer. Ben, here's the problem. Here's the challenge. We are not publishing right now on Apple. Ben and I had another phone call. This was on a Saturday. We talked through it. we were able to then take the RSS feed, right, from that platform. We moved it to a new platform underneath the umbrella and the publishing rights of my producers at River Media Network. Check. Apple was not working. Called Apple. Okay, Marques, if you want to save all your almost 500,000 downloads and all these 5-star ratings and all these reviews, take the new RSS feed, go to the old one you had that you integrated and put into Apple, re-enter that one, you'll save it. But I did not do it. An old employee, her name is also Ben, B-I-N-H, Ben did it. But ladies and gentlemen, now that I've failed in my first business by being a jackass, I treat everybody that comes into our company like gold. Ben was one of my best people. She was amazing. She got a great opportunity to go and work for a company in Philadelphia, making great money. And I said, Ben, if you don't take it, I'm going to be pissed at you. I said, I love you as a person. I love you as a friend, and I support you. She said, Marques, you are one of the only people that supported me, because a lot of my clients say, well, what am I going to do? And I'm losing Ben. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I lost Ben, but you know what? I'd rather lose her like that than her say, man, F Marques, he's a jackass, and quit. So I always supported her. Michael, Jake, I called her that morning. I said, Ben, I need your help. Can you please take this RSS feed and put it into where you did the other one for me? By 4 o'clock that day, it was done. She said, Marques, anything for you. She hasn't worked for me over a year and a half. And we stayed connected. Marques, I love you as a person. You're one of the best I ever worked with. Anything for you. Boom, we're back up on Apple. Had a problem with Spotify, called Spotify, had to go through the same process, took about 2 weeks. Boom, we're back on Spotify. The challenge has been resolved. Ladies and gentlemen, if I just would have sat there and said, wow, we're not publishing on Apple, we're not publishing on Spotify, what am I going to do? Who am I going to do? Nothing would have gotten done. And I'd still be right here, and probably, Mike knows this very well, so does Jake, I probably would have lost the Apple link, all those downloads, all those ratings, all those reviews. It took our podcast from a top 0.5%, possibly down all the way out to starting over. But because I broke down the challenge into small steps, it got resolved. It took a little bit of time, but it got resolved. That's the key. Third thing, embrace dynamic subordination. What that means is you don't know everything, right? I don't know how to produce a podcast. I don't know how to do, website. I don't know how to write awesome blogs and newsletters. But Dawn on my team, newsletters, blogs, PowerPoints, the best. George, website, SEO, our app. We have the Marques Ogden app. It's a free app you can download. Follow our podcast, come to our website. George is the best, right? Jaslyn, when media pieces come in, she knows me. She can write them. She helps me with podcast descriptions, outreach, organizing schedules, creating things for the team. She's the best. Ladies and gentlemen, high-performing teams, high-performing, strong mindset individuals know that they don't know it all. Let someone who is more capable come in and do what you know they can do better than you. And that's the mindset of a great leader. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's all about. Mindset is training your mind to believe what your heart knows is achievable. That's what it is. That's all it is. But so many people allow fear, negativity, rejection, failure to take that away from them. Be one of the top percent in the world. Learn to lean in to your attributes over your skills. Learn to move horizons when challenges come, and learn how to embrace dynamic subordination. Get out of the way when you know that you don't know what's going on. And here's the final thing I'm going to say to you all to close it out. One of my favorite quotes by Aristotle: in times of extreme darkness, focus on the light. Aristotle became famous for coaching Alexander the Great. And he told Alexander, if you are the individual that shines bright for the greater good of Greece, the men will follow you to the edge of the earth and beyond. If they ever think you are no longer their light, it's all about you and what you want and what your legacy is going to be. The minute trouble comes, they're gone. They're out. So again, ladies and gentlemen, in times of extreme darkness, focus on the light. And here's the catch. You are the light to shine and blaze a trail for others to follow. Thank you all for having me on.
Amen, Marques. Do you have time to answer a couple questions? Because I have like 57,000. I mean, do I have you for about another 5 or 10 minutes? We have it built in the schedule.
Go ahead, man. Absolutely.
Seems like you have more than that, Mike.
Marques, I mean, this is awesome. I mean, I could go on for days and days and days here. The first thing is now, much like yourself, I've been up against it. You know, I was at one point, you and I discussed this. You were super gracious host on the podcast you had me on. And you talked about how I was against it with real estate debt and the stress that was under foreclosures, and I overinvested in real estate. Can you just, how do you deal with being $5.5 million debt?
You know what I realized?
The stress pushing you down.
Well, but like I said, right, man, looking at it now, the stress I had was for me just trying to get enough money to make that problem go away. There's always a solution to a problem or a challenge, always. The question is, do you have the guts? Do you have the moxie to see it through? Right? Ladies and gentlemen, I have made millions of dollars. I have lost everything. I have been on the top of the NFL. I've been a custodian for $8.25 an hour. I have driven a F-150, I call it the Green Hornet pickup truck with the front passenger seat ripped out. No AC, no radio, driving it just to get to my job to make $311.80 per week. I now have a 2024 Yukon XL SLT fully loaded truck that I bought. I have been all around the spectrum. I'm going to tell you right now, to get where you want to go, you have to break things down into manageable steps. If you don't, and I love that, Frank, get knocked down 7 times, get up 8. As long as you get up, you're always in a position to win.
Well, so I guess the answer to that is manageable steps and just keep getting up.
And also actionable steps, and learn to lean on your trusted circle for help. Those people that you can count on, lean on them, because that's going to help you get to the other side as well.
So in your coaching and your transformational processes, when you're dealing with people that not seem to get out of their own head, do you have any insight for people that can't get out of their own head?
You know what? If you can't get out of your own head, I'm going to challenge you. What drives your willpower, right? What drives your attributes? Is it family? You have kids? Is it your parents? Is it legacy? Is it wanting to do something for the greater good? I always tell people, if you can't get out of your own head, then get in your head and figure out what it is to why you are here, right? What's your purpose? That's what happened to me, right, Mike? I was sitting there crying for 2.5 months. I woke up January 15th. I said, wow. And I looked at Farrah, who was asleep. She was, and my 8-year-old daughter was asleep in bed. And I said, this is why I'm turning it around. I can't sit here and tell Farrah how to live a fulfilled life, the best life she can live, if I'm over here being a fraud, living a life of fear, stress, anxiety, and failure thinking in my mind. So once I rediscovered my why, that's what catapulted me to get out of my own head and start charging forward towards my target.
So these are principles that you have deeply ingrained within yourself, and you've had to use them through multiple iterations of challenges. And it sounds like, I mean, the attributes over skills thing, Marques, I feel like I've just learned something that is life-changing for me. And this isn't like bullshit conference speak. I mean, I'm serious. That's a huge lesson.
Because here's the thing, right, Mike? If your attributes aren't strong, you will fade out, which is exactly why I lost Caden. I had no willpower in the first place. I just got lucky, and I got in a place where I made a lot of money, and I took it for granted. Straight up, I took it for granted. And I stopped working hard. I stopped caring about people. I stopped focusing on the greater good of mankind and all that I was serving. And I became all about Marques, what he wanted, and basically filling Marcus's own ego. And once that happened, it was the beginning of the end.
Okay. So I have one more question for you. And Jake, you want to chime in after this, that's fine too. But how can someone tell when they're, like you said, you were losing the logic of your construction business? How can someone tell when they're losing a piece?
When people are trying to talk to you, trying to enlighten you, when your team is trying to be inclusive and give you their thoughts and their ideas and their perspectives, and you know you're not listening, you know you're not trying to hear them, and you know you already have in your mind what you're going to do, watch out. Watch out. I'm actually doing a talk for Taylor Morrison in January 15th, the power of inclusivity, talking about how inclusivity is when you're working a project for Taylor Morrison. Find people that don't think like you. Find people that don't have the same perspective you do. In our company, we have white females, Lebanese males. Jasmine, who's been with me for 2 years, started at 19. She's 21 now, from Honduras and Ecuador, right? She's half Honduran, half Ecuadorian. 21, great perspective. She's now running our social media. Abby, who we hired as a virtual assistant from Africa and Ethiopia, late 20s, great perspective. Daniel, Italian, former police officer, worked in sales. Great perspective. George, Lebanese, in his late 30s. Great perspective. Albert, African-American, mid to late 40s. Great perspective. Donovan, African-American, early 30s. Great perspective. Victor, my business partner out of California, early 50s. Hispanic. Great perspective. I don't want to hire a bunch of blacks that look just like me. I don't want to do that. I want people, I will hire black, I will hire white, I will hire women, I will hire men, I will hire young, I will hire older. I want cognitive diversity in our company. The more diverse you are, the better prepared you are to get where you want to go. But to answer your question, the minute you stop listening to people and you know it, you're screwed.
Wow. Thank you, Marques. That was awesome. I have one final question, actually from Karen. I don't know how we can get you two in touch, but Karen Olson Hall, she was wondering how to do the RSS feed thing. How does she get in touch with you? How does anybody get in touch with you? And what are you offering?
Yeah, so people can get in touch with me. They can do a couple things. One, you can just give me you can text me on my cell phone, 919-995-2733. 2266. Again, 919-995-2266. I offer business coaching. I offer consulting. I offer, if you have a podcast you're wanting to grow, I coach people on that. Leadership coaching, how to start a business. You want to be a speaker. If you're looking for a speaker, we speak for organizations, all that kind of stuff. So again, we're really, really big on helping people, whatever their challenge is, we customize our coaching to that challenge. You can text me or you can email me, Marques@marquesogden.com. Again, coaching, speaking, consulting. You want to grow a podcast, you want to be a better leader, you want to get on stages, you want to help inspire the masses, reach out to me. We work with a lot of people that we know we help. We can help you as well.
Thank you, Marques. We can't thank you enough for doing this. I knew you were going to be amazing. Every time I talk to you, I feel so good. I'm in the DC area all the time. I feel like I'm home, Great. So thank you, Marques. We appreciate you so much.
Thanks for having me out, guys. Again, reach out to
me. Always, man. Love the passion, my friend. Can't wait to do more.
Marques Ogden, everybody.
Have a great day, guys.
I love that guy.
Oh my God.
He's the best.
So it'd be real easy for me to ask the placated question, Mike, and go, well, what was your one takeaway? That's not what right. That's an easy one, but Marques just gave us a master program webinar in the course of 40 minutes around just some amazing things. And I guess one of my favorite things that I heard, because I come out of a world, and a lot of the coaching that I do and a lot of the leadership and communication stuff that I do is about being in alignment with the team that you're around. And I love the concept that he brings up around hiring for perspective. Hiring for perspective. He didn't say, I want to hire the person that's the best at the thing. I want to hire the Ivy League guy. He's hiring based on diversity and perspective in his team. And I love that concept. Absolutely love that concept. And he said, hire people that don't think like you. I loved that. That is a huge piece of where you and I work so well together. We do not think the same. Let's get really clear with the audience. Michael and I do not think the same way. We don't build things the same way. We do not, we don't work at the same hours. We don't have these, breakthrough methodologies, but that's the benefit, and Marques talked about that too. He's like, surround yourself with those people. So I look at where he has had, yes, he's had some spectacular failure in his life, notable spectacular failure, which was met with spectacular recovery, spectacular success, because he chose to have the mindset to do so. He said, no, that's not what I'm doing. And we did. And then he proceeded to surround himself, because first he had to surround himself because he said he couldn't afford it. He had $400. He had to surround himself with people that were both diverse in their thinking, that had perspective other than his. And now look where he's at now. He's got these great businesses and this great coaching company, and he's one of our favorite people to work with. So again, it comes back to me for that. We talk about it all the time, and I wrote this in my first book, and we hear it from Jim Rohn. You're a product of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And so Marques surrounded himself with these amazing people, and then he got to a point building his business. He proceeded to hire them. He hired those people. And then going back to, you look at the story about Ben, where a year and a half after she moved on, he reached out and said, hey, I need a favor. And she said, anything for you, Marques, anything for you. So think about how he managed, even through everything he's been through, he managed to impact her in such a way that she just said, yeah, man, what do you need? Anything, anytime. And we've got, several people getting ready to come up that way. I mean, our one of our amazing friends, Julianne Meyer, is always that way for us. Hey, whatever you need, anytime. Like that's one of those people. So I mean, that's my synopsis of where Marques ran through. Like, what else did you hear there, man?
So I heard so much stuff, and being in the physical world when you're in the NFL and you're at peak, there are no. I don't care what anyone says, right? Like NFL athletes are the top most physical individuals. Yeah, gymnasts, this, that, and the other thing. But speed, power, collision, durability, the funnel for the NFL is like the screen on the funnel is so tight that to make it, to just even be in a Hall of Fame at Howard University is insane. The physical skill that you've got to have, the work ethic that you've got to have just to make it there. I've worked with NFL athletes, right? I mean, they're a different breed physically and mentally of a human being. Doesn't make them any better, doesn't make them any worse. But just to be a gladiator on the field and then come off of all that insanity and then try to make it in the real world and then going through all these ups and downs, man, to know greatness, to lose greatness, to see it from afar, and then to reacquire it, it's pretty insane. It's a true, like a lot of people are going through that. A lot of us went through it. I went through it. You know, when he said he went to work for $8 an hour, $8.25 an hour, I launched my solo career making $8 an hour. And then I left, started my own business. 6 months, 6 figures or less from $8 an hour, you know, dressed not dissimilarly than I am now. It was to hear his story until you've lived that $300 a week paycheck and you're going through and everything seems far away. I mean, you're shopping at food stores that are questionable nutrient wise. Everything's price driven. You want to talk about posture from scarcity. You're thinking about, man, I better buy the Wonder Bread and or skip the bread and just do spoonwiches. And I don't know if you know what a spoonwich is, Jake. It's basically, and just hear me out on this cadence: peanut butter first, then the jelly, then the bite. The peanut butter, because typically the jelly goes in the fridge. So if you do the jelly, then the peanut butter, you contaminate the peanut butter. So, cracking top ramen, kidney beans, and marinara sauce as a staple of carbohydrates, protein, and flavor for years, like I lived on, which sounds pretty disgusting, but it is what it is. Until you've actually done that every single day, and you wonder, man, I am grinding myself into the tip of a pencil. And the tip of the pencil is getting closer to the metal on the eraser. You start to feel like you're using your life, and you start to feel like everyone else has got something better than you. Meanwhile, that's a bullshit notion. But coming from those perspectives to then impacting lives and changing lives and letting all the negative energy go, changing perspective, being the same person. I mean, think about it. You've been there, Jake. Like, you're up against your bills, and then all of a sudden the client payment comes in, and it's like, oh, back on top. Let me go buy lunch. You're wondering how you're going to make it, and then there's this yo-yoing of instability. And I feel like a lot of us out there, yay, Karen, boiled wheat. You're going to have to talk about that when you pop on. What the hell is boiled wheat?
That just became one of my panel questions for this afternoon. Is what was your staple when you were at the bottom? And we know what Karen
staple. And then Karen, can we please have 3 versions of how to make boiled wheat, because we're all going to try it just in case this whole thing blows up. I need an exit strategy food wise. So good, when we see these rebound stories, right? And we've all been there, you're going to hear from a bunch of people that are, I love it.
See what you started?
We did. This became the Total Disruption Nutrition Channel. How to get the most out of, how to stretch $1 and survive. But
that goes back to the beginning. And we said that in the beginning. It's like every one of us, every single person that's been on here has been at the spoonwich, has been at the boiled wheat, has been at the Vegemite on toast, has been at the, ramen noodles, or when you were talking about questionable nutritional value, I was laughing. Ours with my kids at one point was the dollar value menu mac and cheese and the $1 hot dogs. Like, literally, we made a meal for 4 people out of $2. Like we've been there, we've done that. Everybody here has been in that space. So this is where, okay, we just started a brilliant dissertation for Marques on, I went from the crash and burn to the space. And Michael and I started with this today about what's stopping you, what's holding you back. You don't have to get all the way to the boiled wheat stage. I'm not picking on Karen. That's just, I love the boiled wheat. Like if you're crashing to that space, Marques said it was a choice. He made the choice. He's the one that put him there. I'm the one that put me there. Mike's the one that put him there. That's how it's going to go. So it's the same going forward. Boiled weed. Oh, that just derailed me.
Somebody has to, Jake.
Remember, had to do that to me. He's like, Jake's talking too much. I'm going to throw him off. So, but that's the point, guys. That's totally the point. We've all been in this space. Everybody's been where you are, and there's somebody that's where you want to go.